tabs.
Yeah, cool. That's fine.
Cool. Hello, everyone. Good to see everyone going live. I'm going live from a second ago. How's everyone doing today? It is good to see everyone in here as usual. Let me just check. There's no music because we're doing something a bit different today, and I'm hoping people can see this. I'm guessing they can. So we're all doing good. How's everyone doing? No, there's no sort of countdown or anything because we've got a day today of exciting things. So I'm excited to show everyone. Hey, David Pruitt, what's going on? Kevin's here as well. Good to see you. Sorry for putting the stream back a bit. A few technical things that we had to sort out. One, we've got really a cool surprise for everyone today because we've got a special guest joining our hang on, just hide that. So we've got a special guest today joining the stream, and not only that, we're announcing something for anyone in Europe that is going to be really cool for everyone. Nice to see you, Nate. So first of all, I'm just going to bring up my Streamlabs here because I've got a friend that I need everyone to say hello to, which is Brandon Federico. What's up, Brandon?
How's it going, Will?
It's going good, man. It's going good. Right, Brandon. Actually, in fact, everyone, this is Brandon. You may have heard from him from a video that I did. How long was it ago, Brandon?
Like 3 years ago.
3 years ago?
Yeah, like 3. You made a few. You've mentioned my name a few times.
Yeah, I've mentioned your name a few times, right? So
yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know Brandon, he is an owner of an agency, right? A design agency. I should know this because, you know, seeing as how we're friends. Yeah. So the story goes like this. Brandon lives in Denver, Colorado. He saw my work, I don't know where, but he got me to brand his design agency called Voyage and Vanquish. We became friends after that because it was a success. And we went eventually from talking to doing work for each other. I went to America and did some workshops and things and just hung out with you in Denver for a while, right?
Yeah, it was super fun. I mean, we started off by me hiring you, which was interesting. I just found you
weird, isn't it? It's a weird dynamic, right?
Yeah, it's weird. And now we're friends, and now I'm here.
Yeah,
and
that's it. So
that's cool.
This is what's going on, guys. So today, we're not just going to be looking just from my point of view. So you can hear the bells going on in the background. That is an old church
yeah, perfect timing.
Next to. It's perfect timing, right? It's showing us it's 6 o'clock. So what's going to happen today is we're going to be looking through your Come Design With Me challenge submissions today. And we're going to be basically critiquing them and helping you guys out and showing all of the submissions that we've gotten so far, even the ones that I've featured before. We're going to try and get through as many as possible. And I'm here with my wife, who is off camera.
Hey.
She says, hey. She's off camera, and I'm here with Brandon. Brandon, tell us what you do for your design agency. Like, tell us a bit about you and why you're here today.
Yeah,
without giving too much away.
I'll talk about Voyage and Vanquish a little bit. So Voyage and Vanquish is I like to call it a studio. It's the same thing as an agency, but I do everything from web design to social media management to brand strategy. So there's a lot of different inner workings of what I do. Design is one aspect of things, but that's probably one of the most important things that I deal with is design. And yeah, I started off as a freelancer, so that's kind of why Will and I became friends. And I really respect the freelancer game and hope I can be helpful during this stream.
That's it, man. That's it. So Brandon is a really nice guy, guys. You guys have got to go and follow him. We'll put links up for him during the chat. Naomi will do that at some point. But today, David Pruitt, thank you so much for... David Pruitt, I always say this. He's always like doing really...
I remember David too. I met him in Denver.
Yeah, you met Brandon, didn't you, David? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, Brandon put on a workshop in Denver, and the Denver workshop is where David Pruitt came and took part in the workshop, and then we went and had food afterwards and stuff. But we're going to talk a bit more about workshops later. I don't want to give too much away, but thank you so much, David Pruitt. You're a legend. It means so much to us. So the first thing we're going to do today, like always, in the Come Design With Me challenge, is we're going to review some work. Now, Brandon, I'm going to basically hand off to you on some of these, as well as me talking on them. Once I've given my spiel on them. So I'm just going to pull out some work here. And we've got one from, what is it, Twelfth? And I'm going to pull it up in a second. You'll see it on your screens. I need to make sure that we can actually see some of the images in the work. Cool. So for anyone who does not know about the Come Design With Me challenge, it is basically based. Here we go. Now you should all be able to see that. Naomi's got to tell me if she can't because of my lack of monitors. I haven't got that monitor game. But basically, PayZeal and Come Design With Me is a challenge of a branding challenge. A branding challenge where I gave you guys a brief, and the brief is still open. And it's a fictitious company to do with paying people. And it's basically like the competitor of PayPal. And you guys have to brand it in accordance to the brief. And I basically share your work. And we do these live streams for this so you guys can get your work featured on a video. And not only that, so we can work as a community in helping you do better in your overall design skills. How does that sound?
It's super. How do they get the brief, Will?
Well, they get the brief by going to the Miller Notes. The link is somewhere, not in this video. Naomi.
Come Design With Me videos.
Pardon?
Previous Come Design With Me.
Yes, if you go to a previous Come Design With Me video from PayZeal, like it's one with the logo picture, you'll see it. So this first one, we have got a guy called Twelfth. I don't know how to say his name. But as you can see here, we've got his logo right here. Oh, wow. He's actually got a lot here. You can see that, right, Brandon?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's got a lot. So what I love, and I think everyone knows that I love this, is when people put their branding or their idea generations in there. It's kind of like showing your work at an exam. So if you're going to show us how you got to a certain point, I need to see where you started off with very easily. So we'll just start off with the main logo up here. So the first thing, I'm just going to go through it and, oh, wait. Yeah, no, all good. First thing I'm going to say is your kerning, I believe, is basically on point. Aside from that, just going to move that in a slightly bit. There we go. So we've got PayZeal here, and we've got his icon and a really friendly but yet modern typographic logo type at the bottom. So it looks good. It fits well with the icon because it's rounded. This is a nice typeface. It is a bit too friendly, but I do think it's modern. It reminds me much of the Squarespace logo, and especially in the inverted place. What do you reckon, Brandon?
Yeah, I really like the inverted color. I think that the typeface is a little bit too friendly. Just the roundness of it looks a little bubbly. At a small size, though, it looks really good. I just think that once it's really blown up, it looks a little bit bubbly, but it actually works quite well. Just with that icon at top there, looks really good.
That's it. I think that icon at top would work a lot better if it was a lot thinner. And we can do that, but I can show people how to do that.
Maybe.
But maybe if I can. I probably won't be able to. But basically, I think it would look a lot better if it was thinner. Same with Brandon. Works great when it's smaller. Now we've got some gradient versions down here. Now, with these types of things, I don't know about you, but you've got to get the gradient right. And I can see here that they're not particularly correct, and we can always try and correct this.
It's split down the center too perfectly, I think.
Yeah, too perfectly. So a gradient has to be. Ooh, what the heck? This is the issue here. I can see it now. I think the issue. Oh, there we go. So the issue was, there was not enough of a gradient. My computer's just going crazy at me, but I think it could be to do with your shape. And if I cough, it's because I've got extremely bad asthma. Hay fever season. So we got here. I think that looks a bit better. I mean, what is going on with this shape though? I'm trying to work out exactly what you've done. Sorry, there we go. Because it's not actually wanting to gradient all the way through for some reason. And it gives me that weird thing. Oh, whatever. I think it's either too contrasting in the gradient, so you're gonna have to like bring it out further, especially with this one in here. It's got to be the same. Let me just get rid of this here and bring this in so we can all see what it looks like from my edit. Yeah, I think the gradient is way too bright and contrasting to the background. I prefer, you know, this. It looks a lot cleaner. You've got the colors right there with the sort of dark grays and the light gray contrast. Again, with here, with the PayZeal logo, I don't know about you, Brandon. Sorry, I'm taking over the show again.
No, it's your stream.
I can tell, actually. Here's a fun trick. I can tell this logo was originally that because of the bounding box, you never reset it. A little trick, if you wanted to reset the bounding box, right click, transform, reset bounding box. There you go. Resets it, makes it easier. I don't know, I think I prefer that, to be fair. But let's have a look. You want to scale that down, right? This P needs to move way over. Scale this down so it fits in the embodiment of the PayZeal logo. Scale this up. I don't know if he's even seeing this, but there you go. That looks a lot better than having a huge logo. You want it to fit together and maybe decrease the tracking. What do you reckon, Brandon?
You know, honestly, I don't mind the bigger icon next to PayZeal, the words itself. I feel like it has a separation. So with that brand recognition, you'll be able to tell that there's a separate element there. So if you were just to have the icon on its own, people would start to recognize that. I feel like if it's too small and if it's part of it too much, it almost looks like that's just one element, and it needs to be kind of separated out a little bit. I actually like how that icon's on the left side better than on top. It just looks a lot better.
I just want to move it then. Like, I don't know, it might just be me, but it's just...
I feel like the spacing was pretty good.
I know, I just feel like there's a lot of dead space there. But that's just me. That's just me. I mean, I can't... Like, this guy, the actual work is great. Or it might have been, like, the fact that it wasn't centered correctly. Sometimes when you center these things, Illustrator does a bad job seeing the balance. But you can't really balance it out too much. Or maybe even the ones up here, right? I'm going to edit this whole guy's thing. I just bring that...
I like the work, though. It's really nice.
It is nice, right?
Yeah.
It does work well. I'm just going to check the stream. Oops, streamception. There we go. Cool. Right, I'm just going to go down to the bottom here. Now, we see the work here, Brandon. What do you make of this work process?
I mean, it's interesting, really, how he got to that final point. The process itself, I don't work like that because... I mean, I'm a little bit more organized because it's hard for me to see like what's happening here. Like where he started. I'm guessing it's the top left. He started there, but
I'm guessing so, actually.
I can't really tell. For me, is like being a creative director. If somebody were to hand me the work and be able to see the process, I kind of like to see the order of which they're going in, just to see where they're at in their thought process.
Sure, so you would suggest like making it simpler to understand the process. So maybe instead of having it all just like smushed into this corner, you'd have it like in a logical layout.
Yeah, and maybe even different artboards. It almost
similar to what I do.
Yeah, that's different artboards is what I do, just so I can organize myself and be able to copy things just in case I get rid of something. Because I always mess up like that.
No, that makes sense. Now, over here, we've got a logo in the app icon. A good trick is if you're showing me an app icon, is to always show it in its real size in comparison to the artboard. And it works. You know, I can't say it doesn't work. I mean, there could be more you could do with it with, like, you know, this part here, the border and everything. We could try and maybe thicken that up, to be fair. If we just ungroup it, I can show what I mean. Just to give the illusion that it all works together a bit better. And you can see here that works a bit better. But I like the app icon over here with the bank card. I'm struggling to understand why there's a bank card here. I guess it's because they think there's going to be a bank card, but there's an interesting lesson here for anyone. Like, nowhere in the brief does it say have a bank card idea ready. There's a big reason for that, and it's because there is no bank cards with PayZeal. It is simply only online transactions. So when you're working with clients, although it's a nice gesture to put that in there to give me the option, clients and general big companies may not like that if you've not been told that is something that they're going to be doing, because they may sort of like right now maybe think like me that you've got the wrong idea of the project, that we're not branding a sort of a current account or a credit card, we're branding an actual service app or a service online, you know. What do you reckon, Brandon?
Yeah, and it can also hurt your work as a freelancer. If you're like Will said, if you have the wrong brief in your head and you're trying to do too much, they may go, yeah, you don't have the right idea. You didn't hear our brief. This is online only. We don't have cards. And even if you were in your own head, I see what you were trying to do, just to be creative, it could kind of take away from your design, because they may love the icon, they may love the design that you made, and then they see it on the card and go, ugh, because I don't particularly like it on there.
It kind of looks cartoonish, and that's not because
it
of
looks
the design.
Yeah, not because of the design, just the way that it's implemented.
Yes, and because the cartoon is a card. Well, the card is a cartoon, right? So it makes it.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It makes the whole thing look cartoonish, and so that's the thing. When you're selling something to someone, which I don't know if many people know, is when you're presenting a logo, you are actually selling it to the person that's giving it to you. You could be the best logo designer in the world and be really bad at selling your designs, and no one will like your work, or a very small amount of people will like your work. Then again, you could just be some guy who sells a logo for $5 or something, and it could be the worst logo in the world, but they've presented it in such a way that makes people really want it, because it's all about that emotional response sometimes with clients. It's a bit different with corporate clients, because you have to actually go through their agencies and their in-house design team to really sell it to them first, and they know the tricks. But yeah, do you agree?
Yeah, totally. Everything that you said.
Cool, man. Right, on to the next one. I'm not going to save that, but good job, dude.
Cool.
Come Design was doing well. We're going straight into this. We've got one from, I guess it's called Sumith. I don't want to say Smith. Have we got any questions in the chat, actually, Naomi, before we carry on? How many views we got? About 100. Nice to see everyone in here. Remember to subscribe. We have got a massive announcement in a few minutes' time, which we're going to talk about after probably this or the next one, if that's cool with you, Brandon.
Yeah.
Sick. Right, so this one, I know it's always going to be good when they put the name at the top, because they know that they're trying to help me remember names. So, in good order, instead of me introducing this one and talking about it, I'm going to let Brandon talk about this one for a sec, if that's cool.
Yeah. I really like the presentation, first of all. Like, we just got off that topic about presenting, just everything. So as soon as I see the artboards laid out like that, that's great. It lets me see all the thought process of the colors and everything. And I really like the icon. It's pretty cool. Yeah. I can see the P and the Z that are, it almost looks like an hourglass. So I feel like that is part of the thing.
It's got a Z and a P in it, because they've realized the the what's it called, like the edges of this work. They've realized that you can have that into an hourglass.
Yeah, and that makes sense with the instant money transfer situation, because time.
Yes.
Yeah,
and it works as a pattern.
You can get really creative with that, but looking really deep with it. I like the colors, actually. I feel like it works pretty well. Green for money. That's kind of what it is here in the US, but that makes sense to me. I like it more with that single color, just that white knockout. It looks a lot better than all of the colors. I feel like when you're getting into the space, smaller space, and also, let's say, signs on a building or something, you can see how the design will work a lot better. One of the
No,
things
yeah.
that I'm not sure about is having instant money transfer included. I think it's a little bit much. I feel like
Do you reckon it's a little bit much, or do you reckon it's just the way that he's put it in there?
um I think
It's kind of
I
look.
think it's a
If you look,
bit much because if we look at other brands, if we compare other brands in the money space, you don't see the slogans all the time with the actual logo. It uses a lot of room too. It's pretty big. I feel like that could be a version for sure. So if the client wanted a version with the slogan on it, totally, that's fine. But I feel like it makes it look a lot cleaner when it's not included.
no, I totally agree. I've noticed this as well, Brandon. So I'm just going to bring it to your attention. Everyone's starting to do patterns of the logos, and this is a great thing, right? Because nowadays, especially with modern logos, it's so important to have patterns on them.
Yeah.
Because, not to have patterns on them, but to make patterns out of them. Because it's a good way of making something look cool, but most of all, it actually shows you that it's simple enough to replicate very well. And when it can be made into a pattern, it actually means it's perfectly balanced as well, because it can repeat all the way along like a tile, right?
Yeah, and it's great for other uses. Like a pattern can be used for a website design, so like a background or something. That's really cool and unique. I really like how there's a legend right there, and how it
No,
shows
it's cool, isn't it?
the abstract pattern itself.
I was going to ask anyone if they can hear a echo, and if you can, if it's that bad, let us know, because I'm trying to get Naomi's microphone to be good. So my thoughts on this is, yeah, again, I think it was the tagline or the slogan. I never really like slogans in there. In fact, let's just get rid of that, and let's rebalance or recenter this as it should be. Oop, probably just ruined it there for everyone. But no, I really like the way that it really stands out to you. The Z is directly in the center, which is exactly what I'm looking for in these logos. Is the Z directly as the primal thing that people are seeing? And the reason why is because the Z is a weird letter form in the sort of alphabet that we use. It's very balanced as well. It's completely symmetrical too. So, well, not symmetrical, but like balanced. So I think it works well. Maybe one thing that I would suggest with the icon is even more to simplify it even more even. So you've got these cutouts, and it gives an element of interestingness to it, or make it more interesting. But I would like to see it without the cutouts, with just the lines intersecting together. Just because I know you're trying to make a Z in there, but I think you can make it into a more of an abstract concept by having the hourglass in there without trying too hard to get the letter Z in there. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I would try it. I like how it is though, but I would try it just to see how it looks broken up. How does it look really small?
Yeah, so really small works well. I mean, it looks great. I don't know how small your screen is, Brandon, but for me right here, it looks pretty good. It looks like a Z that's backwards.
It looks
Maybe
like on my screen, it looks like an X when it's really small.
Oh yeah, it does look like an X as well. I didn't even realize that. Well, that's one issue as well. So like,
I think that'll fix if you, like what you were saying, is without having those spaces, at least one of them, it might take away that X look from far away, or small, I should say.
I think that's what it is. You know, it's so important when you're doing logo designs for any client or anyone else, is to make sure that you're testing your design. You're not just making sure it looks good. And by testing, I mean like printing it off, like with your logo, Brandon, for Voyage and Vanquish, which I'll try and shove up somewhere during this live stream.
And it is a video, so people can go watch it.
There is a video of me explaining how we did it.
Yeah.
But I was printing it off and I was writing things on the logo, and it's so important to have a physical copy of something being printed. So get yourself a cheap printer. I just used a very cheap, like a £50 printer, from Tesco, and basically print everything off, draw on it, stick it up on the wall, And if there's something wrong with it on the wall, then there's something wrong with it on the computer. It's something to do with our brains that when we're looking at things in real form, you start to point out these issues. Have you got something like a question near me?
Just to double check, what file, like format, like do you need it sent in?
You should be sending in your files in a .ai file. So an Illustrator file.
I'm not able to open if it's like it says like a dot thingy because it's in a zip file.
Yeah, no zip files.
I can't open it.
Yeah, we can't like open any zip files because people could be trying to put things on my computer that I don't want on my computer. It has to be clearly an AI file in there with the simplest form. And this is the perfect example of it. He's showing me very simply the logo. The app icon works well. I'm going to round this one up. I see how you've sort of gone here with the logo from here. So it says logo in an abstract of the letter P and Z. So P plus the Z equals PZ or PayZeal. The app icon works as well. It's very unique. The color system, like, is decent, and I really like it. This one here, stuff like this, the smartphone with the coins on it in this illustrative way, can really influence, again, people to like sign off on your design, right? Because they are seeing something that is that extra mile. People pay for people who don't just give them a product at the end, but really ask them, how am I going to serve you in this field, right? So I think that works pretty well. Naomi, do you want to get up ready the link to the announcement for the chat? You can actually do it on here as well if you want, if it makes sense. No, because you're going to put the link in the description, or you're going to put the link out online for someone. So we'll do another one. We've got an announcement for anyone on here, for everyone, especially those who are coming to the United Kingdom soon. So we've got Nikhil, who is in the stream, apparently. We're going to go and have a look. I've got 2 folders here, 1 and 2. Okay, so a reminder to anyone who's sending work in, make sure you outline every font, because I can't see it when you bring it in. Cool. So Brandon, this is from Nikhil, and first of all, you've been very creative, and I saw this on my Instagram. I swear I saw this on my Instagram. Very creative.
Yeah.
I will say I love the gradient choice. I think you've gone very zealous with your lines and wavy lines, and I think you've customized this in a creative way. Is it a logo though? Can it be used? I don't personally think so. The reason why, and that's not like putting you down or anything, the reason why is because with a logo we have to keep things ultra simple, and it's so important. And I guess a lot of creatives, especially those who are starting out, who look at these logos or are tasked with creating one, they want to show how creative they can be. Well, the creativity has to be shown in the simplification of things like this. So I can see your concept here, which is a lot of wavy lines. So what do we do to try and keep the PayZeal logo into just like, 1 or 2 waved lines? How do we take this concept of you making it really wavy and condense it down into something that is easily read, accessible, and easily printed, put online, and that looks good? What do you reckon, Brandon?
Yeah, and I think that you'll start to notice, I guess, issues coming up with really, I guess what the word is complex logos or complex designs like this, is when you start to make it really small, you'll start to see it just kind of turn to a blur. You can't read it at all. Yeah. So I feel like I wouldn't go as far as to say that it couldn't be a logo. I think anything really can be a logo. I've seen it. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I've seen very successful companies and brands have the most insane logos, and it works for them. I think what we're trying to say now is keeping things simplified will help you in the long run, especially with selling it to your client, showing it to your client. It needs to be somewhat timeless so that they can use this logo forever. The goal is to have the logo forever, not to have a redesign later down the road.
Yeah. That's why logo design, a lot of people, when they first start out, right, they don't realize how expensive it can be, especially with companies who are like looking to hire someone like me who specifically does logo type design. So again, for Voyage and Vanquish, obviously my pricing has changed, but it wasn't like going to Fiverr, was it, where you could get a logo for like $5, it's about knowing your trade, and you do that by looking at other people's work. What I would suggest to do though for this is going and looking at PayPal's logo, and no one has really like shown me that they've taken inspiration from PayPal, which I'm kind of like freaked out about, because the first thing I do when I'm marketing or branding someone is I ask them who are their main competitors in their company, in the industry, because I know what standard I've got to beat, and I know exactly the weaknesses. You've done a great job here in showing your creative side. Can I just say, by the way, also this part up here, although I can't see a typeface, very well balanced with the brand assets. All I would ask to do is stop with the curvy lines. That's all I'd ask to do. Your color choice is great. I like the drop shadow on the app icon. Logo design and any sort of design nowadays isn't about art. It's all about simplification, which is what basically me and Brandon are both trying to say right here. But it could be a logo. We've got another version here of different colors. Very nice. With this, a little tip though to show you, if you wanted to, you could grab all of these. Oh, hello, if I can actually grab them all. So grab every single artboard here, drag them, go up to the color wheel, and you can change them like this a lot easier. This is what I do with all my clients. When I'm trying to like change the color and everything.
Once you learn that you can change the color wheel and recolor the artwork, it makes your life so much easier.
Yeah, and like you don't have to make new documents. Keep everything in one. Keep everything in one document unless you're sending it to the client. I always have like one document where I do all my work, and it'll be like hundreds of artboards, or like probably not hundreds, but like 50 or 60 or something. And then I'll have like 4 artboards for the ones that I'm going to send them, because I don't want them choosing the wrong logo, and I'll just choose the last iteration of the logo for it, right?
Yeah.
So, very good. I'm going to bring the camera back to me and you, Brandon.
Cool.
If I can. There we go. Sorry about that. It's I haven't got really a media people behind me like they do at Adobe, so it's difficult to get on. So, Brandon, we've got a bit of an announcement. This is correct, isn't it?
Yes, it's true. A big announcement for those who are in the UK.
Yeah, and there's no drum roll. I haven't got a sound machine. But basically, me and Brandon are doing a workshop in the UK, and it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. Naomi's going to be posting the link in the description or the comment section down below. Now, this workshop this is the first time you're going to hear about it, because me and Brandon decided, if we're going to show people this workshop, we want you guys to get first dibs on it for tickets in the UK. And I believe there's going to be like some offers and stuff like that coming soon. So get your tickets to this workshop. There's so much stuff you're going to learn from it. Brandon, do you want to talk a little bit about the workshop and the ideas behind it? And then I can just take over after you.
Do you want me to talk about the title? I don't know how much you want me to share.
You just share everything now. You can share everything. Every little detail. Your mouth can be wide open now.
So basically, we're going to be talking about the process of logo design and how we do that from creative brief all the way to final delivery. So this isn't just going to be just logo design, which is, a very quick workshop. This is going to be a very long, involved workshop where we talk about the creative brief, how you can work with clients, how to better work with clients is what I'm trying to say. and how to use the tools, what tools to use, all the way through to the final delivery of the logo design. So this workshop is going to be really it can be really for anybody who wants to go, but it's kind of mainly, I guess, for people who already work with clients or who are starting to work with clients.
Sure. So basically, like, the workshop is huge, and you guys might be like, oh, is it just like another workshop? It is not. It's like a completely different one. Me and Brandon, as I said before, I went to Denver a couple of years ago, where I met David Pruitt, who I think is still in the chat, and we did a workshop on hand lettered logos. So basically like logo type design. We had a good turnout, you know, it was very good. This workshop is a lot different because it is not just a workshop on how to create a logo. It is generally a workshop on how to do better in making logos. And it's a hard workshop to come across, and you won't come across a workshop quite like it because of me and Brandon's positions in this sort of weird business friend kind of relationship that we have together. Because the idea of the workshop is that we're going to be giving you guys a kind of a brief of something, of a brand. So it's kind of like come design with me, but for the day you're going to kind of have a brief, and we're going to show you what we do, and we're going to help you during the process of creating this fictitious company. I mean, this is all going to help you in the way that you design your very own logos for clients. But not only that, Brandon is a wizard, and I mean he's an actual wizard when it comes to strategy. It's a wizard to coming to client communications. So you guys have asked me questions, and I've said I really don't know. Well, this is the guy who you can ask questions to when it comes to, you know, getting briefs from your clients, asking questions about strategies, what questions to ask. You know, there's going to be so many different things in this workshop that you guys are going to learn from. And it's our goal basically is to take your logo design skills up 10 levels so you can start paying yourselves 10 times more for what you do.
Yeah, and that's kind of the whole goal, isn't it? Just to I see a lot of comments on your videos and people asking you a lot, how much do I charge for a logo? And it's always an impossible question to answer. But once you actually start to learn the process of how to do things from the beginning all the way through the end, talking with clients, how to handle client issues that may come up, communication, all of this stuff that we want to go through in the workshop, you'll start to get a better idea of, oh, this is how involved I am with this logo design process, and this is how much I can charge. And you won't really have to ask that question anymore.
Exactly. It's basically like the formula of the most perfect client relationship.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like when you get into this field of design and logo design, you know, you want every relationship with your clients to be up there with the best. You know, you want everyone to run smoothly. Me and Brandon for years of like, I guess very subliminally, I've been asking like, what made our relationship so great from the start? You know, when we disagreed on things, how did we disagree? How did we like get paid? How did I decide how much I got paid? How much did you decide was okay? You know, and basically all these questions, if I was to put it into a nutshell, it's not for the absolute beginner, although beginners are completely welcome.
It would be great for beginners.
Yeah, it would actually be great for beginners. But we have targeted this at people and at designers, at students who are already dabbling in design. They're already doing their work. They are either looking to know how to work with an agency or how to, one, get noticed by one in their work. So that's a good idea to come to this workshop if you're looking to get noticed by big design firms. But then also for the freelancer who's struggling or who's got questions on pricing, payments, the legal side to design, and how the heck do you design a logo like that. So not only are you getting like thousands of pounds worth of like design information that we have accumulated over like years, you're actually getting the chance to ask questions to us, join us for like, what is it, 6 to 8 hours or something? Is it 6 hours?
Yeah, it might be even longer than that. I honestly don't remember. All I remember saying is it's gonna be long.
But
9:30 till 5
it's 9:30 to 5.
on the 24th of August.
9:30 till 5. And if you get the there's like a VIP ticket option, because me and Brandon hated the idea that when the workshop's over, it's very hard to sort of like get someone to do what they need to do, and they may have more questions about the work that they're going to take home with. So after the workshop is over, we actually schedule a Skype plan where me and Brandon together will come and talk to you. And obviously Brandon will be in the UK at this time during this workshop. It's going to be huge, but basically we're going to talk to you when you get that ticket after the workshop's over, and we're going to give you even more helping advice for you, specifically for you. How many tickets are there, Naomi? There's not many.
There are not many. So there is 6 of the VIP tickets.
Yeah.
Which includes like all the follow-up and hanging out after at a cool bar. And the standard workshop tickets, we have 18, and we will look after you very well during the day. We've got a drinks package, so you know you will not be thirsty, especially in this London heat that we seem to be having.
It is so hot around here.
It is. We are melting, but you will be well watered.
Well watered.
Like a good plant, but not like a cactus. And so 18 normal tickets, 6 VIP tickets, and they are going to go quick.
They're going to go quick. So, guys, that is basically our thing. I'm going to show you the little graphic, if I can, very quickly. Let's find it.
You guys are the first to know. So, everybody in the stream, we haven't even announced this yet on anywhere else. They're the first.
That's it. Because my live audience, and I know you guys might be like, oh, he's just selling something to us. We're not. This is actually a project that me and Brandon are, I think, ridiculously proud of bringing you guys, because it is thousands and thousands of hours worth of work in our careers condensed down to be brought to you guys in advice and help. So this is like the cover for the workshop. There's going to be videos. There's going to be a lot of like videos on my channel about this, and a lot of like advertising about this, because I think this workshop isn't just going to take off in the UK, it's going to take off in America, and that's the plan, right? We're going to be doing this again in different countries when we go.
Yeah.
Which is cool, right?
Back to the United States. Hopefully we'll go through a bunch of states.
Yeah, if they let me in.
Why wouldn't they let you in?
I don't know. I just like to make that thing. I just like to make sure.
I'm nervous going over there.
Though. I always freak out before I go, just in case they won't let me in. But then I'm always all good. I'm all good.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, if you want more information, Naomi's got the link there. There's going to be like, I think we're going to set up something exclusive for them, right? We can try. But we'll set something up exclusive for them. For the live streamers. It depends how nice you guys are being, apparently. I can't read your comments. So we're going to get back to these critiques in a sec. But if you want to know more information, I am definitely sure you'll hear about it in the coming videos, where I'm going to be putting my a lot of effort into creating a cool marketing video. So guys, go and get the tickets if you want one. If not, and you want to show your support, share it around online. Cool. So we'll talk a bit more about that later. Oh, here we go. Done that again. That was an accident. There we go. We're going to go to the next logo, Brandon. How does that sound?
Sounds great. These are cool.
We've got Derov, but it's working. Oh, he's putting it in now. Naomi's putting the work in now. We've got this little system going with Naomi.
I'm a wizard.
Naomi's a wizard. You're a wizard, Harry. You're a wizard. Okay. Again, with the fonts, guys, make sure you outline them, because I don't think I can see them. You have to outline your fonts. I'm even going to show how you can do that. Actually, I can't do it here because there's no font. So, sorry, Drove, but we can't see your actual logo type.
Were they Adobe fonts, though? I feel like it said you can activate them.
Did it have Adobe fonts on it?
I thought that's what I saw, but maybe I'm wrong.
I could do. Let's have a look. He comes up with it, and I always just say nah, because I never do.
It's Gotham. Hey, you should have that.
No, it's Gotham Rounded. That's not Gotham. Oh. That's different. Gotham Rounded. No way. Oh, well, we can like look at the icon anyway. So I'm just going to get rid of everything else. Get rid of the icon. No, get rid of that. Get the icon out. So here is the icon for PayZeal. So again, we've got a credit card here, Brandon.
Yes.
Which is kind of strange because a credit card or a debit card is showing that there is a current account. Now with PayPal, I know you can have a card with it. I had one a few years ago with PayPal. I stopped using it, but nowhere in the brief does it say to have a credit card. Although I do think your design is very unique, and again, it could be used as like a brand asset. But as for the logo, I don't actually know if it could be used simply because it's not simple enough. What do you reckon, Brandon?
Yeah, I think the thing that throws me off the most is that it is a credit card. And actually, the first thing that I saw, for me at least, it didn't look like a credit card right off the bat. It looked like a piece of mail, like postage.
Yeah. I get that.
Just, yeah, it's a good design. I will say that. The design itself is nice, but I'm not sure if it hits the brief good enough.
That's it. The brief is king when it comes down to it. Although the design, like, I can understand exactly where you're coming from with it. I think you've done a great job with, like, the colours. I like the colours that you've used. Maybe it looks a bit too PayPal, but I still genuinely think blue is probably the best for this company. That's just my opinion, though. Excuse me. I would just go ahead. If you're going to use a bank card and you're going to submit that, just simplify the logo. For instance, you don't need these circles. These circles can go, if I can do it. You don't need circles. Use just this, because that is the ultimate, simplification of it, aside from obviously the lines inside of the card, So that's where my brain is.
It needs something, though. I see why the circles are there. Just because
it's to border it.
It's without it, it's definitely not a logo. It's just an icon. Like, I don't know if he just pulled it off of, somewhere. I'm not saying he or she did, or whoever this person is. I feel like something needs to go there. Maybe one of the circles can go, but
sure. So there's got to be some sort of edit, right?
Yeah, there needs to be something different about it.
Yeah, I mean, you could have that, or that. Kind of looks like a C though, doesn't it? I mean, play around with it. See if you can simplify it. I think having the perspective off the card like that could makes it harder to do. But the creativity that you've put into that is really nice. Although it doesn't fit with the brief, I think you've done a good job in illustrating something to us. So nice job, especially with this. I think did you design this? You can design this. I like the layout of your bank account though, although the fonts don't work yet.
Yeah, I wish we can see the fonts.
He's got my card number.
Oh no!
I hope there's a lot with the Bank of England, dude. Nice. No, honestly, I think you've done well with the app display here. You've got like the homepage, the card there, stuff like that. I understand why people are thinking this is like a card, like a credit card bank, because I didn't really say it in the brief. And that was designed to throw people off, because a bank, people normally think of either cash or card. They don't really think of anything else. But when you look at other brands like Monzo, where you do have a card with it, but its primary use is use on devices, it kind of changes the game a little bit, right? So I'm going to go to the next one, I think. Well done, though, dude. Well done. Good stuff. Good stuff. And also, guys, for anyone who's in here, of course, you can resubmit, and please do. So don't just think that I've just said something negative about your work. The idea of us saying these things and pointing out some of the flaws and pointing out the good things is to help you guys learn about them. And people do it to me all the time, so it's great.
Yeah, I do it to Will all the time too.
Yeah, which you do actually. I actually send you my work, don't I, sometimes?
Yeah.
Of course, we've got a PDF here. So I can't edit anything. If I can actually see my cursor, there it is. So here we go. We've got like a party string. So pay, so I guess that's payment, plus Z equals PayZeal, which I kind of like this logo. This is really cool.
I think that's really unique. I don't know about the confetti part. I don't know if that's part of it or if that's just kind of part of the cover here. But the font's nice.
How well does that fit, and how balanced is that? Who did this one? Are you there? No. Hang on, let me find the name of the person.
Yeah, we'll give them credit.
It was Dan. Dan, your work is nice. Were you in on the last creative or come design with me, Dan? I have a feeling you were. First thing I love about this, again, after marveling at it, is that you got it spot on for Zeal. A lot of people, I don't think, I think having a word in there like PayZeal is like really like honey trapping designers, because people are going to be searching that up on the dictionary and being like, you know, what is this word about? Is it generally just enthusiasm? So I like the ideal of zeal and being paid coming together in a P and a Z with a ribbon with the brand colors in there. One thing that I would do is change these blues to the blues inside of here just to keep it together, because it kind of looks out of place with that.
It looks like confetti.
Yeah, it's confetti, right? It's nice, a confetti design. We've got the PayZeal here. Again, the type is clean as anything. What do you reckon, Brandon, on the type?
Yeah, I think that's great. That's like one of the first things I noticed. The type is really nice and clean.
Yeah, and the colors as well, right? Oh.
Yeah, the colors really stand out to me. I really like that, the palette there.
That's it. Here's something to be wary of there, Dan. If you're here, I'm not too sure if you're in on the stream, but one thing to be wary of is the N or the Z looks like an N now, which is very hard not to do, or very hard to do. So when you're sending work kind of like this, where it could be misconstrued as a letter, make sure that the logo is always facing the desired way, because, you know, when you're presenting something, you're not going to show it from the worst angle. You want to show it from the best.
And the other thing is, when we go back to that, it looks like an N. It kind of looks like the NASDAQ, I think that's how you say it, logo. I don't know if you know what that is.
The NASDAQ, yeah.
Market. It looks like that. So you want to make sure that you always present it perfectly as it should be.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to get confused with any other brands.
No, it makes sense, right? Though, yeah, like it works works in solid color as well as your normal color. I kind of like the confetti, Brandon. Do you not like it?
I don't know yet. You know, I have to kind of see the implementation on, because it almost seems like it's a launch product. So for me, if it were a startup, it almost seems like, boo, confetti, we're launching PayZeal. And then that's going to go away. Like the confetti is just a temporary thing.
Woo.
Woo. I mean, like, you know how some companies do, like they change their logo around for things like Christmas or something. They'll put like decorative things over their logo. That's almost what it looks like to me. Like it's a temporary thing.
Okay, so you want it to be a bit more inclusive to the final thing.
Well, it just seems like it's temporary for me when I look at it.
Yeah,
I almost expect that it will go away. I like it. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be there forever. It's hard to explain.
Yeah, I know. I totally get what you mean. I think he gets it as well. I guess Dan will get it. Here's the app icon here. Only suggestion would be to take that whole logo, including the confetti, and scale it down inside of here. We don't want it to be bursting out of the square, because what happens is here it kind of looks non-balanced. It doesn't look balanced enough inside of there.
And that's the problem that I have with the confetti, is it makes the Z not centered in that app icon and unbalanced.
Yeah. I must say, without the confetti, it would look cool as well. So maybe having versions with and without in the presentations would be cool. Also, this presentation, really nice. You've got a really nice sort of noisy background. Looks matte. I like that. It really shows the design, brings it out, and you've sort of added some shadows and lightness to the icon as well. I really like it. He's got more. Excuse me. Again, lots of close-up images, which is nice. Yeah, so it's like confetti and sparklers here, Brandon.
Yeah, and that's where if I were doing this for a client and trying to hand it off to a client, my first thing is confusion. Like, what is this for this app? What is this brand? Because we're taking the brief. I think PayZeal, the font is great. I think the actual icon, the Z, is great. The colors are awesome. But once we have all this celebration, it almost is taking away from the brief and the brand itself. Like it's making the celebration more important than what we're trying to actually accomplish.
Sure, and I mean it's not a bad thing to have it there sometimes for different usages.
No,
I think for here, for instance, maybe this is a great thing to do. The great thing about this is that you can have a branding system with it, with different like things popping out of it. The only thing that I would suggest here, an improvement, would be the PayZeal logo type there needs to be the same color as the sign up. That's you want people to see that as the header of that. I understand why. Maybe like, bring it down in saturation or whatever, or not saturation but brightness, but it needs to be there. Here we go. We've got the nice branding colors here. This is really well presented, by the way. I have a feeling like you spent a long time on this.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like how the two words are separated there.
And here's the donate and the buy button, which is like, so he's used the PayPal thing of the buttons of PayPal, buy and donate, and he's put his own spin on it with obviously the confetti. So the confetti is definitely a brand asset with it, with the geometric confetti.
With the confetti, I think if that's the case, it's going to be the brand asset. Explain that. Explain that in your presentation here. I think the presentation overall is beautiful, but explain it, because that's
how would you explain it, Brad? Or how would you expect someone like me to explain this to you?
I mean, just answering the question of why confetti? Why is there confetti?
Yeah, so you would.
It can be
I'm assuming it would be like a diagram.
No, I literally mean a one paragraph thing at the top somewhere, and explain it in words. Why is there confetti? Tell me the story behind this brand, because I don't really understand why the confetti's there, other than it's a nice design asset.
And I'm guessing like of the very small brief from PayZeal that I've done.
Yeah.
Of it. Like there was nothing to do about celebration in there. So yeah, I guess I completely agree with Brandon. Maybe just like an explanation of some sort. And I know in the Come Design With Me thing, it's all about, show me the work. So if you've got something like that for a real client, explain it. Don't be afraid to go into the utmost detail about it, because the more detail you give them on something like that, the more chances are they're not going to freak out about it. They're going to ask the questions. When someone's looking at the work, or when you're doing the work, ask yourself the question, what are they going to ask me about this that I need to answer,
Yeah.
That'd be my thing. Cool. Next one.
People having issues with volume.
Can you see if Yash's has worked? Because I'm not sure if it's downloaded.
Yeah, sure. So, looks really good. Next one, we're going to the live ones here. Which one's maybe?
Yash.
I don't know which one that is. It's not
It's not coming through. No.
Well, you haven't made a folder for it either.
I have.
Where is it?
Well, it's there. But it's not coming through to your computer. We'll sort you out, Yash. Don't worry.
Let's see if that will go through like that. There we go.
There have been a few people saying volume's really low. Is
volume's low? Well, what I can do about that is,
it could be mine.
Let me sort this out.
But I feel like mine's okay.
Well, that's it. It's just from my end here, which I'm just going to sort out. The volume should be a bit better there if you want to talk, Brandon.
Yeah.
I've changed my levels as well to get it to a good audio. It's hard to gauge on lives. You never really know.
I feel like we've done pretty good though.
Yeah, we've done pretty good. I kind of like it without music as well. makes it a lot easier for me to not like, start freaking out about
the same song playing 10 times over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Here's Yash's work here. Yash, here you go. Is Yash in the stream?
He is. Yash was my favourite for last season's Come Design With Me with the happy plug face. 100% my favourite design ever.
Yeah, Yash was cool, right? What was your favourite? So yours was Yash's was your favourite Come
Yash
Design
was
With Me?
my favourite, and that's why I ended up forcing Will to end up putting in an episode, because I just really, really liked it.
And it's not that I don't want you in the episode, it's just that we had loads already.
And I was like, another one. I think we ended up having to do 2 polls because of it.
Yeah. No, good crack. Right, Yash, I'm going to have a look at it now with Brandon. Brandon, you still there?
Yep, still here.
Quiet as a mouse.
Quiet?
No.
No.
I'm only kidding. Yeah. It's just like your microphone, I'm used to your microphone buzzing.
Really?
So I always know you're there, but now it's not because you got a new mic.
Mike.
It's a nice mic, by the way. Yash, here we go. So PayZeal. You've gone very 8-bit here. I like it. I don't know really what to say. I mean, your work has always got the sort of signature of your personality in it. Oh, whoa.
That's cool.
Now that is cool. You make this? You made this? That's insane. Sorry, I'm zooming right in on the woman. Dude, you've used... Oh, I totally understand. This is super cool. So, from what I gather, you've literally taken heed to everything that we said, which is, let's make everything as simple as possible. I like the fact that you got a Z here and the P. It kind of looks like a game. You know what I mean? You know, the game money or game, like an icon in the game. 8-bit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does to me. That's right.
Yeah, I like the icon for that. It does remind me of the number 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like number 2 a little bit.
So maybe instead of having a like a 2, maybe just
straight line in the center.
Yeah, maybe I haven't got one with that in here, but he might have already done that. The icon again works really well. Adding these shadows and things like that, small touches to icons and things in the presentation stage really make the difference to the person looking at it. Let's look at it from here. I like your brand assets that you've got, which are these kind of illustrations with the brand colors in them, showing people what the company's all about in a very cool way. It's very artistic. You've got the colors of the brand there. The typefaces are working really well. You've kept things bold where you wanted them bold. You've kept the username and the password in the same family of fonts, but it's nothing's obtrusive, which is what I like. What do you reckon, Brandon?
I really love the colors. I think the colors work really well. That's a very interesting way. It gives me like a techie feel, like a technology company feel.
Crypto.
Yeah, it just those blues, that hue is just, it works really well. The illustrations are great, and I do have there's a resource that I know of, and I don't know if I should share it, but I think it looks very similar to what this person did, and I don't know if they got the illustrations from the resource or if they drew these on their own. If they drew them on their own, that's great. But there is a free resource for illustrations that people can use for commercial purposes.
What's the resource?
It's called Undraw.
Undraw?
Yes.
What does it do?
It's basically, if you go to undraw.co, it's basically just a resource list. It's kind of like Unsplash, where you have photos, but it's all illustrations, and they're all SVG illustrations that you can use.
Ah, cool. So, okay, now I get it. So it's basically like Unsplash, but for vector illustrations.
For vector illustrations, but they're done by one artist, I believe. I'm not affiliated or anything with them. They're really, really nice, and
yeah,
they're very popular.
It's amazing.
Really nice. I love it.
It's amazing, right? Though, I love the way that you've got the brand assets here. I mean, as you can see, he's shown us the logo works when it's small, which is what I like. Showing it small, you're not afraid. Showing it big, having an element of, you know, comedy to it, you know, a bit of humor in there. I like it a lot. There's not much I can say about it because it just works. There's not much I can really say you could do aside from maybe change the colours to see where you could go with it. Maybe a little less electric blue. But that would be my only thing. And that would only be to experiment more, see if we could find a better colour.
Yeah. For me, I think that's all pretty solid. I would be happy with this if I was a client, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not a happy plug face, though.
Oh, sorry, no, I didn't know you wanted to talk.
Saying it's not a happy plug face.
So Naomi had this thing where she loves happy plug faces from Yash's old
You
work.
look like a tiny robot.
Yeah. It's cool. Cool. Right, on to the next. Well done, Yash. We've got a few people we're getting into. So we're going to be streaming for about 2 hours today, guys. So we're going to get as many as done as possible in the 2 hours. Now, I don't know who I've done because you've... The way that... Oh, wait. Can I view them in the way that they were added? So group by... Yeah, I don't know. see if this guy, they've been jumbled up. Again, guys, with the fonts, we've already seen this one.
Do you want me to delete them as you go along?
Yes, please. Okay, here we go. Whoa, what the heck is going on here?
He's in the stream.
Wow. This, when they say, I want it to pop out at me, I didn't mean literally, but that's cool. Let me just find out what your name is. So, Fami, I think I'm saying your name correctly. I hope so. I apologize if not. So, this is Fami's PayZeal logo. And we've got here the combinations of the letter P and the wallet. So, you've gone for this. Oh, this is interesting.
It is.
So, you've got a P and a wallet. And it kind of looks like a wallet to me. I understand what you're going for here. This is very abstract. I need to edit it, though. No, I've ruined it. Thinking that I'm better, but I can't. So something that we need to do straight away is, I know why you've done this, but this needs to stop right here. I love your work and the color value and the concept, but things like this with the P, you'd never want to curve that part of the P because it kind of looks a bit weird. You could curve it, but you'd have to curve this part here too and the other parts of it to make it like, balance up together. I like the way you've done that. The A looks slightly different. I don't know what typeface you're using, but I'd be inclined to change it to something a bit more Gotham. And also, just before I let Brandon talk to you for a sec, I would always check your kerning as well, which I don't particularly want to do, just in case I ruin the work like I just did. No, it's difficult. It's in a compound path. So first thing, I love the icon, the logo type. Keep it simple. Don't try and do anything like too clever with it. If you've got an icon, let that sort of be the icon. What do you reckon, Brandon, of this design?
Yeah, I have to agree with the P. That's one of the first things that kind of it almost seemed like it was messed up, because the rest of the letters are very hard angled and that P isn't. Yeah. The P isn't. So it almost seemed like, that's kind of strange. The kerning as well, I feel like they can be closer together. Maybe even just a different font altogether. The icon's interesting. I'm not quite sure how it would be on its own. It would be kind of hard for me to understand it if it were on its own. And then another thing is just making that balanced, like how you had it, you removed it, but the icon and the actual letters are not aligned right. Can you see what I'm looking at?
Like that?
No, but it needs to go up a little bit. So the icon needs to go up.
Oh, like...
So it was below a little bit. It was kind of strange how it was originally. It's getting better.
Oh, really?
Now.
Have I ruined everything?
Yeah,
I have this knack of doing that. So you think just a bit smaller?
No, but if you zoom out.
Yeah.
Can't you see how the icon is low it seems lower than the actual.
That might have been me.
Oh, okay.
Messing with it.
I feel like it was there like that, but maybe it was Will.
Yeah, it probably was me. I've got a good knack of ruining people's work. I prefer it like that just because it works in. I mean, something cool that you could do, I guess, is this. If it would work. I mean, that's just me playing around with it, and that looks awful. Me trying to show some sort of like, experience in there. No, it looked awful. I think we could both agree the concept is a very interesting concept in the idea that you got a green for money and you got the Z. So sorry, the sort of purple as well in there. It's an interesting color combination that it kind of does work, and I think you should be proud of that.
Yeah.
And also like the way that you were trying to amalgamate the P into a wallet. I like that idea a lot. Now, what I'd love to see in the next iteration of this, which I hope you would do, is just to refine it a bit more. Get rid of all this typographic work here. You don't really need anything smart going on in here. You need it to be just generally nice and need it to work well. I think with the icon, work on it. If you're going to have a path that runs down here, it needs to be a geometric path, and by that I mean 2 circles basically, one large, which you can see here, and one a bit smaller, which you can see here. I don't know if I'm illustrating this very well, but do you see what I mean, Brandon, about that?
Yeah, I see what you mean. It just needs to be a little bit more balanced. It'll help with the balance of everything.
Yeah, and it takes time, like especially with stuff like this. Like, it's a very cool concept though.
I like how it all fits together though. That's what's really nice about it. It seems like it was thought out and it wasn't just like, oh, here it is.
Yeah, here, just shove this on. I like the idea of it. It's just, this is it. With competitions like this, a lot of people are like, why don't you, why aren't you not more critical? And I'm very critical of people's work. But the thing is, I spot the good in everyone's work way before I spot the bad. Because there's so much good in work like this because of the thought that's gone into it. You've got the icon here and it works, right?
So
very interesting.
There's one thing that I think the dot maybe can be a little bit bigger on the P, because
Do you have to have the dot in there though?
I don't even know, because if you look from far away, I don't want to get you demonetized, so I won't say it. But
yeah, please don't.
It looks like a body part.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Of a woman.
No, I totally get what you're saying. I thought it looked like a tadpole. Yeah, maybe like the dot doesn't need to be there. Maybe it could be on the green or something else.
Really like it without the dot now.
It's a cool idea, right?
It's very small. You can really see it.
Yeah, you can actually. Maybe even if it was like further out, like a proper wallet,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that looks cool. Just these different ideas, dude, of like, do you need a dot in there? Why is there a dot in there? You should maybe explain that to us in the next iteration when you send it in. Not today, but, spend some time working on it. But, dude, like, this is really unique and really interesting, actually, design, because out of the things that we've talked about, you can really work on something like this and make it really geometric, right? Cool.
Cool.
On to the next one. Oh, Streamception. I keep getting these Streamception things. So Andrew, who's in the stream, good to see you, Andrew. We've got a file in there. Thank you for outlining your fonts, you legend. Here we go. So first of all, 2 arrows for PayZeal, so paying both ways, getting money, so getting paid and paying others easily. So as easy as these arrows. I like the arrows. I like the sort of gradients to them. I want to change the gradient though. So it's like backwards on each, but it doesn't really work.
There's a Z in the arrows. I really like that.
I can't see the image here, dude. I do apologize because of the way that Illustrator is. Brandon, did you know that I've been emailing people as someone called Wilma?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so everyone's going to have this thing on there like Wilma.
Wilma.
It's a bit strange, right?
Cute.
So let's read to the explanations over here, which is zeal means energy, money transfer takes energy. Gradient is to show the transfer occurring inside the logo. There's the letter Z. There is. Can you see that?
Wait, sorry, I missed what you said. Yeah.
Inside the logo is the letter Z.
Yeah, you didn't hear me.
Oh, you said that and I just ignored you?
Yeah, you just ignored me, but it's okay. Yeah, there is.
That happens quite a lot.
Right in the center.
That is very clever. Wow. Very cool. I didn't even see that. That is a really clever logo. Well done, dude. Pay equals transferring. Zeal equals energy. Arrows show the transferring, and transferring takes energy. I like this a lot. I think I would prefer it without it being rounded. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm not really sure.
I'm gonna do something.
I feel like it's okay though. I mean, is there a version of it where it's not rounded?
Give it a go. No, there isn't. But I want to do something. I like the shape inside. So what I'm going to do, see if I can remember how to do this. Oh no, I can't. I'll have to do it later. I was trying to get the shape inside to be the logo. Because it looked like a really cool Z when I looked at it from like a background. No, dude, like this one really caught me off guard, and I think it's because of the simplicity of it. Like you really have just thought about it. Maybe try adding like something around it just to give it a bit of a border to it. I'm not too sure what everyone else would think about doing this, but I'm always inclined when something is very simple to add something around it to make sure that we've got something like a concise start and end to something.
Yeah, and one thing, so what you have on the right in the artboard next to it, I feel like the arrows could be bigger. Because if we're looking at this, it's small. And it can be moved over to the left quite a bit just because I'm inclined to separate those things almost just a tad bit more.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it's its own icon. It's kind of separate. It should be used together, but it doesn't always have to be, I guess.
Let's try this. No, I totally get what you mean now, yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Like, we could even like bring it up to the top here, right? 2 secs. The heck? I'm trying to like bring them together. This is such a really interesting submission, because it must have taken like the idea must have just come and you're like, yes, one easy idea. But it's not just an easy idea, it's effective. What I would like to see is a version with different type. I think if we amalgamated someone else's typographic choice to it, it would work so well. But let me just try something else as well. We'll just take... Oh, hello. This is me. Something that I should not be doing is just like editing everyone's piece of work, but I always feel like I have to. It's good fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, adding some sort of circle around it really kind of brings it together, I think.
Yeah, because it's like when there's two open ends to it, it kind of feels like, where does my eye stop training towards? Because remember, when you're looking at this, the eye's not just looking at an icon. It's actually looking at like a system where an arrow is meant to point someone somewhere, right? So you want to like sort of encapsulate it into something so people stop looking toward that direction when they see it. if that makes sense. That could be just my brain going straight forward.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, I like the whole thing though.
I like what he did. It's insane.
Yeah.
Let's try and have a look, see if he said anything else.
Did you, with the brief, talk about gradients, or are people just doing that?
People just doing that, and I think it's because people see my videos, and they know that I love gradients.
You used to hate gradients when I met you.
I know. I used to bang on about them, didn't I?
Yeah.
Quite embarrassing, really, because like gradients work well now because of the modern era that we're in. Like hardly ever you need to print off a logo onto something. You know, it's always 99% of the time your logo will be seen on digital surfaces. Like now we have LED advertising boards. You know, so it's all different.
I like gradients. They look nice.
So who was that? That was Andrew Tad. Well done, Andrew. We're going to go for add weight. Sorry, I'm getting told to move because we've got so many pieces of work to see, I'm guessing. But we're only going till 2. So not 2. For 2 hours. Otherwise I'll die.
There's enough time to see these people.
Oh, good. Cool. So this one is from add weight. Red Hod. I don't want to say your name. Well, he's got the same idea, dude.
Yeah. Uh-oh. See, this is what happens sometimes. And so this is actually a good learning kind of moment here because this happens. So hopefully they both see this stream and can figure out how to make their designs more unique. Good thing it's not the exact same thing, though.
Yeah, good thing it's not exactly the same, but like, look how close that is. Look at that. That is super close.
Wow.
Well, this thing is a good idea, right? I think the concept works well. You're shown here, which is again something that we all love, which is, you know, arrows symbolize transaction. We've got the Z for the zeal. The speed of the transaction. The speed is like a lightning bolt. Yeah. Again, I'd like to see the work not rounded at the corners. I'd love to see it as like, you know, like squared off. Because a lot of people nowadays are scared to square off things. Again, it works really well as a pattern. Not only that, you've got the logo do's and don'ts. Ooh. Do not alter or change the font. Do not use a background. Pardon, Brandon?
Brand guidelines. I like these.
Yeah, you love them, don't you?
Yeah.
Did I ever do your ones, or did you just do your ones?
I just did mine. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I suppose we did talk a bit about it.
Yeah.
Again, like, dude, having these things here, I think I explained, if you're going to present the logo as well, it's sometimes a good idea to have these, like the logo do's and don'ts in there, because it can make the client feel especially like it's protected, that the guy knows what he's doing and that it needs to be done in a certain way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I love it.
There's a super chat button, apart from it's the other way around. So nobody was just saying, Yash, that your logo looked like the YouTube super chat button. So it's good. Right, so on to the next one. So I lost my train of thought there.
Sorry.
It's all right. Cool. I think we've seen this one. Yep, we've seen Fami's one near me. On to Sam.
Sam's in the chat. He's excited.
What up, Sam? Good to see you. Make sure you always outline your fonts, though. Whoa, look at that.
Wow.
I've never seen so many artboards, like, beautifully aligned.
I like that.
But not only that, we've got a very minimalistic approach. I would call this ultra minimal. First off, Brandon, I'll let you take it away with this. I like it, but let's see what you have to say about this, Brandon.
I think the first thought I have, I like the whole thing, but that icons I feel like is too big.
Yeah. Can I just point out as well, you've got 2 T's in my name.
Uh-oh.
It happens a lot. I always like to point it out. The icon Yeah, it's just a bit too big, isn't it, really? What do you think of the colours? I kind of like the muted colours.
Yeah, I feel like I'd probably like to see it. I will probably see it later in this presentation, but um, it's very unique. I haven't seen those colors used like that. What is it, like a purple, a lavender
Like,
type color?
it's like a really dark purple and blue. I know it's cool. Sorry, I'm just messing around with your work, dude. But
I think it does work. Really.
Say again.
No, I think it does work when it's kind of toned out like that.
Yeah, it does. It's really nice and muted. So you've got the Z in the work as well, which is nice
wow.
that you've incorporated that. That's very clever though to show us that even. You know, you've got lines of internet flow, people in lines of crowds, smartphone characteristics, friendly, rate and currency, speed, connectivity, and the crowd. On to the next. Wow, you've got a lot of emphasis here on like presentation. It's amazing. So the type, Montserrat black italic, very nice. So you've taken, and I can say I think for definite you've taken a lot of inspiration from PayPal logo, which is great. A lot of people will feel like that's a bad thing, but no, it's a very good thing because you're competing. We're trying to make this better, make it its own thing, right? I'm not too bothered about this sort of stuff down here. This is more like branding stuff. I'm more bothered about, how this works, in the overall brand, the visual side to the logo. Over here we have these that are guided off. Doing these guides, I never do them, right? But when people do it, it makes people look like the boss, right?
Makes you look really good.
It does. It makes you look really good. Although don't do it if your client will ask you why you do it, because I don't really. The only reason why I would ever do something like this is to do a logo stay. So like a logo stay is when I was working for a game developer, and I had to like be very, very precise on where the logo was supposed to be on screen at all time, or at the times that it was on screen. So this is the only time that I would do it, to show the dividers. And then not only that, I would get out like my measurement tool, wherever it is. I think it's here, somewhere around here, that I have like a measurement tool, and I'd put the pixels and show how many pixels away from here it needs to be and stuff like that. That looks cool. Doing that for clients makes it sell better. The way that you've got your colors here looks amazing too. Would you agree, Brandon?
Yes.
Sorry, I keep asking if you agree. No, I can't see your face.
There's not too much to say so far about it. It's all nice.
That's it. Especially when it comes to like really good work. It's hard for me and Brandon to come up with things to say.
Yeah.
Because
I don't want to nitpick too much, because everybody has their opinion. And so
whoa, look at that.
Wow, that's
Sam. I mean, guys, here's his Twitter as well. I don't mind doing a little Twitter shout out to Smitty Man Jansen. That's on Twitter. What a name for Twitter. The way that you've presented this, dude, is really nice. I think you've done a really good job in this overall. Like, I can tell that you are very good at what you do. So, like, kudos to you. This is insane. The app icon, it looks good. I would get rid of the magnifying effect there, because the idea of having the phone there is so you can see it in the actual aspect ratio of it, of how it's going to look on the phone. The app icon, the app itself, I think it looks great. There's not much I can really say. It just looks great, and the way that you've got this as well works super well. I'd like to see it a bit brighter though, the colours. I don't know why. I still would like to see the colours a bit brighter.
I think so. To go to the artboard that's to the right a little bit. No, right there where that the confetti lady. Where's that coins? Sorry, this screen's kind of hard to see, but
that's cool.
I think that color scheme works really well. That blue with that purple. So I see why he went that direction. So
yeah, 'cause he's gone for more of like instead of everyone doing the bright colours, he's gone for the darker colour, and then for the. Is that what you think? Like the brand assets are the things that are brighter.
Yeah, that's kind of what I kind of like that. It almost seems like it works well. It's really balanced.
It is balanced, right? You've even got a little thank you here with the pattern. Again, this is it. So when people are like, I can't make my logo into a pattern, well, use a part of the system in the logo to make the pattern. Only thing I would say is here. So I've just spotted this. So in here, you want it to be a clean break.
Lumpy.
It's just a bit lumpy. You see that?
The one on the right is too.
Yeah, so you might want to maybe just fix that and go over it with the pen tool instead of like using the shape builder tool. So, maybe draw it out again, fix it up a bit. But it looks really nice. The overall thing. Really amazingly presented. This is insane.
Yeah, this is a really good presentation.
Yeah, it's amazing what you can do. And, guys, honestly, give this guy a shout. He's an absolute legend. But spell my name right. We've got Joe next. Let's have a look. Joe is in stream as well. I'm just going to ignore all of them. Okay, we'll activate one font. Do not have Gotham Bold apparently on here for some reason. What is going on with my Creative Cloud? Come on, bro. Right. 2 seconds. Just going to get rid of the old work. Cool. So this is Joseph, or Joe. Hello, Will. I'm a 17-year-old designer from Ohio. I'd like to preface my design by saying thank you for having a look at it. And I hope you enjoy and critique honestly. I hope I'm honest too, dude. Nah,
I will be.
Yeah, or Brandon will be. I wanted to find something that could be as simple yet effective as possible for PayZeal. Something that still worked and looked good in any situation. As for colour, it seems that many online payment systems use the colour blue as it's very corporate trusting colour. However, I've decided to zag and use a bright, fun, bold red. This will stand the brand out, or help the brand stand out even. Anyways, thanks once again. The brand presentation is to the right and my sketch page is to the left. Enjoy. Sorry, dude, I did not get your sketches because the way that Illustrator works, it doesn't take all of it into account. But we've got the brand stuff on the right. Cool. I'll preface this, dude, by saying well done. Like, so far, like, overall, looks really nice. You've got a brand in place. And you can tell when there's a brand in place when it fits neatly. I think, is Brandon still there?
Yeah.
Well,
it got really quiet.
Yeah, I went really quiet there because I was like, is Brandon going to say anything?
I thought you were just in the middle of the dot. I feel like I feel like that kerning is off. I just can't put my finger on what it is.
It's the Z.
Is it? No,
yeah,
because
yeah, definitely. Look at that. I mean, it's not his fault though. You can't actually stop that.
You can't really do anything about it. So maybe one of the things that he has to do is kind of space all the letters out a little bit more to get over that, because
yeah, I'd assume so. This is a difficult one because there's not really much you can do to help it. I think it's one of those times where I have to put my hands up and say I can't really have a go at you about the kerning because a Y and a Z is the worst combo. I don't think it actually works in any situation, really. What I like about this dude is, first off, so I'm just having a look through it all because I'm finding it very sort of interesting, is the Z with the thunderbolts in it. So, you've got zeal, enthusiasm, energy, and a lot of people have been using this word energy with enthusiasm, which is very cool. And you've gone for a lightning bolt idea. So this is a very simple logo with a lightning bolt idea. It's in the type, it's in the logo type, and it's in the icon itself. Plus, you've probably sketched this out, so you've gone through many iterations of the design. I think you've got, again, with a pattern. Everyone's listening. This is really cool that people are listening. Works with a pattern. You've shown us the red. Now, the red, I have said, I'm rapping here. The red, I have said in a previous video, was that it was a bit too dark red. In this case, you've prefaced the work, explaining why you've chosen red. Now, the only problem is with red, and I'll have to stick by it, is that red screams danger to people. So this being red, and if I was to take all of this work and turn it to orange, people's first instinct will be different to what it is. Is it a band? Is it, another product? I love the brand for it, but it kind of looks like an electricity or like, one of those fly zapper brands where you get a fly zapper. Do you understand what I'm saying, Brandon? Yeah. So like, it works, but just because of the color, it makes me, specifically me, think of a different kind of product that we're selling. So I would maybe, like, instead of it being red, maybe make it coral. Let me just fix this. Let me see if I can find a color. That's pink. I wouldn't mind finding like a certain type of orange like that. No, but that's not. I don't know. It's such a difficult one because I want to make sure it kind of works all together. What do you make of it, Brandon?
I think it's okay. I mean, overall, the logo itself is nice. The colors, I am kind of struggling with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? It does seem different. Although I feel like that is the point. And so if that's the point, that's kind of stick with it then, I would say. Because I think the cool thing about logo design is you could experiment with things and be different than everybody else. That red, I don't know if that particular red works for me. And it almost seems that red on the black background is very different than the red on the white background. It almost looks like they're totally different reds. I'm not really quite sure, to be honest.
It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because it is red, but you can't really say much about it because I think the only way I can concisely say it is that it kind of looks like a different product to me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of products that I'm thinking of that have that color, and I can't really think of any at the top of my head, but I don't know.
Yeah. But I mean, it can work. It can work. We know that the actual, in black and white, the logo works really well. In black and white. Looks very edgy. You've gone for a different feel to it.
I don't know if I like these stacked on top of it like that, though.
No, I think you need to get rid of it.
You're kind of you're showing double icons. You don't even need that at all because it's already in the middle of the logo. So
that's it. Look, boom. Straight in. Very simple. Very simple. Easily done. No, I like it. I think you've shown really good work here with the iPhone. Just get the Z away from it. You don't need to get the Z on top or anything.
Yeah.
I like it just by itself, like here. And whenever you're doing a pattern as well, just watch out because the pattern has to be like less noticeable than the actual logo. So maybe reduce the opacity of that as well. So that would be the thing. And the app logo as well. You've got nice gradient going here. I prefer the gradient with it because it makes it a lot nicer.
But is that a different red?
Say again?
Is that a different red though? Or am I seeing things? It looks like a completely different color.
I think it's a gradient, dude.
No, but do you see what I'm saying? The color of the app icon.
Yeah.
Even at the darkest point, looks like a completely different red than what he originally had. It's not even.
It does actually.
Not even close. I understand that's a gradient, but
yeah, because we took it off. Set his gradient out. Where is it? I can't take it out really, but yeah, it is basically the gradient all over it that's making it like that. Let me just try something here because I think I've got something that we could use for this. No, that kind of looks like hell, doesn't it? Check that. I think I prefer it like that because it's got a bit more of like grain to it, so it's not just like block red. In my opinion, that's just me though. I think the way that you've designed this is great, but sometimes, Joe, it's important not to be different for the sake of it. Although blue is corporate, you could go bright blue, electric blue, teal. You could go something that's edgy. I think going red is a bit too much though. But like again, the design is good. Hang on a sec, Naomi. Here you go into the mic.
Joe says that he had the same red. The gradient slider was off of the icon, so it got caught with the colours in between.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That makes sense. Cool. No, that makes a lot of sense. Nice one, Joe.
Yeah, no, the work's great. I think the work is great, and I would say the final thing is just kind of play around with colors a little bit. Even if you're going to stick with red, maybe a different type of red.
Yeah, that's it. It's all about finding like an experiment with these colors. So again, he's given me the font file with it. Let's just quickly install this. I don't like installing new fonts on my machine. I'm gonna have to do a tutorial on how to outline things. But here you go. So this is from, I'm guessing, Otano is in the chat. He's gone now. Hey Otano, we're doing your logo if you're in the background. So here's the PayZeal thing. Now the first thing that is popping out to me, and I can guarantee Brandon's seeing it too, is the letter or the number 2 showing for Zeal. It looks like pay to eel.
Yeah.
Pardon? It looks like an eel as well. Naomi likes that. She's smiling like it looks like an eel too. I think the thing that I love most about this is probably the icon. You're onto something here with this color part down here. I actually really like that because you got the PayZeal. So you got, obviously, I don't know if he's shown his work, but it shows kind of like an energy to it. Maybe it is a bit too long because when I do a logo, I don't like it to be like in a rectangle. I prefer it to be in like, if I can explain it, Naomi's giggling at something.
Sorry.
But in more of a square.
Says, to be fair, Will, I would pay to eel, and it's me.
Lol. So, let me get back to my train of thought. Yeah, I think just get rid of that. This part here. You need to definitely change the typography that you're using here. Because it doesn't fit with the company. The P is way too long. It doesn't fit with the icon. I think you've done a great job with the icon. What do you think, Brandon?
Yeah, the icon's really good. I think on its own the icon looks great. It doesn't work with the other part though. I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, this is probably one of my favorite things I've seen all day.
The colors,
genuinely, yeah.
And
There's not really much I can say.
That color of red, orangish kind of color works.
Yeah. Which is a perfect blend, right? Because you got the nice sort of dark blue in the background and it fits perfectly, with the light blue and this orange part here, which shows energy, right?
Yeah.
So, oh crap, I'm killing it. I'm killing it right now. Cool. So yeah, dude, work. I would love for you to submit this again. But just work on the typographic logo and take heed of these fonts. Just because it looks like a cool font doesn't mean that it's 1, legible, 2, that it would work, or 3, licensable for a logo like this. I would say stick with the icon. Just make some quick edits with it. I think there's a lot you could do with this. No, great job there, dude. Great job. Have you got anything else you want to say about it, Brandon?
No. I think good work.
Cool. So how many have we got left, Naomi? Because we've got to talk. We've got Rahul. I swear I've done Rahul before.
No, and then you got John.
No, as in like in a previous Come Design with me.
Oh, maybe.
His name.
He sent is working out, and then his actual design.
Okay. Again with the fonts, people, make sure you outline your work so I don't have to download all the fonts.
YouTube tutorial.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna do one, you know.
How to outline.
Because the problem is that I don't see the work really. Let's have a look. We might not even get these images. Well, I can see the logo here. I just can't see you working out. So we'll just have a look at this for now. Because this looks interesting. And oh my daisy, it looks so similar to this. Wait, sorry, I've got a different keyboard, so I'm like freaking out because again we've had another similarity. So from, I'll just sort my life out. We've got the sort of like the energy bar here, so the lightning bolt on the P, and the lightning bolt on the P here as well. So that was interesting.
That happens twice.
I know, it's very unlikely though, isn't it? But
He says he's got the PDF for you. See if I can find them.
right, so no, it's cool. We'll just have a look at these.
Okay.
Hello. So I lost my train of thought again. Here we go. Right, so the logo that you've sent, dude, looks nice. One thing that I would certainly do straight away is... Oh, hang on. You had it in a compound path. That's another thing, guys. When you're sending a logo in, never have it in a compound path. Otherwise, you're going to give other designers a heck of a bad day. Because they need to be able to... You what?
It's broken now.
That's it. It basically it means that you can hardly edit it without it dying on you. So I would make sure this P is exactly in line with the A as much as possible, without it going a bit funky on you. Yeah, and then maybe no, I think I preferred it the way it was before. Cool. So we'll just leave it like that for now, and then we'll look at it. One thing I like about it, it's bold, works really well. PayZeal, it works as one fluid line, really nice. I like the gradient. Again, you all know I'm a sucker for gradients. I was a guy who hated gradients, but now I'm a guy who likes gradients. So there you go. The lightning bolt, again, is a cool idea. Maybe think about like shortening it. It seems very long. Again, the logo wants to fit inside of a square, not a rectangle, because it's going in an app icon, right? That's one little hack for anyone. And you could do that by simply making a couple of edits. This is going to be a really crude way of doing it, but that kind of looks a bit strange now. But you know what I mean.
It could still work, though. You can make it work.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel like it could work.
But wouldn't it be an absolute pain in the butt to get that into because you've got an icon like this. This is all I was thinking, right? So it's got to fit in there. And then if we were to bring that to the front, if it would come to the front, there we go. This is my only thing. It could work, but it just it kind of looks like a different logo when you've done it. But then if you just had... I'm only trying to say it because it's something that could take people's work to the next level. But I think I've broken the whole thing.
The one with the mock-ups in, he'd like you to see the mock-ups if you have time to have a quick look.
Yeah, sure. But I can't do what we did last time with because remember last time we did this, there's hundreds of people sending them in. It was insane.
He is absolutely begging on the chat, so if we could just do it, that would be grand.
Yeah.
Just pull it up.
Right, he's begging. So I'll keep the logo like that. Where would it be? It would be here. I don't see it. I'll wait until it comes in.
So there's
say
one.
Again, Adam.
It almost seems like the lightning bolt isn't the same like angle as the rest of the text. So if you were to put a guideline on the lightning bolt, the bottom of that bolt,
let's get it
and like angled it, I would say it should be the same angle as that A.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Right, so
because it's going up.
Yeah,
but it kind of messes up. It might be though.
Let's test it. So we've got.
It could be.
You can never tell with these things. They're always a bit of it.
I could be very wrong. So.
Don't worry, I'm wrong all the time. Oh yeah, you were right.
Okay.
Yeah, so that
just
maybe that. Yeah, just like these things are really important to think about. The relationships, especially the icons in the lettering itself or in the logo type, the relationships between the angles and everything are important. And not only that, something because Brandon's pointed that out, not only the angle, but also the thins and thicks of this choice here. So, for instance, this needs to be thinner because the way it works is following the rules of the letter forms. And for letter forms like this, the E and the A for the crossbars are thinner than the sort of vertical bars, if that makes sense. So if we were to take, this is going to be difficult to do because it's on the side, but basically we'll give it a go. So that is the E. The heck's going on with my computer? It's doing this crazy thing on the live stream where it leaves bits of my work everywhere.
Do you want to open the PDF and have a quick look at the mock-ups?
I'm critiquing his work. So this has to be thicker than the bits here. So if you understand what I'm trying to say, it's very hard to explain on an italicized letter form, but whenever something is on its like angle here or pushed this way, it needs to be thinner because it's following the rules of the type. Now I've got a lot of file explorers open, not too sure why. Here are his mock-ups down here. Let's have a look. So we've got the business card there. And then oh cool, so he's got we accept PayZeal. Very cool, very nice. It works well in its mock-ups, I must admit. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I feel like it does. I don't know if I like how he cut off the lightning bolt though.
At the bottom?
At the bottom. And the app icon too.
So where you cut it off, that needs to be where it stops, right? In all.
Well, it doesn't have to be like. I just, if it has to be cut off, there's a problem.
The name.
You're a managing director though, so that's cool.
That's it. I am the managing director. That's it. I mean, honestly, dude, it works really well. It's very seamless. But no, if it was me, I would cut off the bit at the bottom, or like make the arrow in there. But obviously, like Brandon thinks that you can like probably get away with it, just like messing around with it a bit more. But no, very good though. I like this piece of work. Very nice.
I like the colors too. The color choice is nice.
Yeah, they are nice as well. He's chosen a really good way of doing it. I think he used Gotham Condensed or Gotham Ultra Condensed. So, John, are you in on the stream?
Yep, John's the last one.
John is the last one. So let's have a look. So John Lamos, let's have a look. So we've got a P and a Z. So again, a lot of people are using these like icons where you could like go P and a Z. Makes it easier for people to understand, I guess, and it's a good way of like compartmentalizing it in your mind. A P and a Z. First thing I would suggest is experiment more with different shapes you could use, because that shape right there kind of like looks like 2 arrows, and I like that. Oh wait, I just had a brain thing.
Did you fall asleep?
No, basically, like when I'm like, oh, that could work, I just make sure it could work beforehand. Basically, I would like to see if it was 2 arrows, like one pointing this way, one pointing downwards. I like it. The color choice of green, I don't like, but what is really cool and professional is this right here. What do you make it, Brandon?
For me, it looked much like PayPal with the color choice.
Is that like if someone gave this to you as an agency, would you like see that as an issue?
It could be. It could very well be. As far as trademarks go too, as well, that could be an issue.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, this is another thing. Is like in the brief, does it say that we're going to be trademarking this anywhere? It doesn't, but I guess it's something you've got to assume.
You have to assume that a company is going to trademark it, and you don't want to have any issues with that.
Exactly, especially like a company like this, which they're trying to be huge, right?
Well, even if they aren't huge and they're a payment company,
yeah,
there's obviously money going into it. So
it's kind of like Monzo, right? Which is coming to the US. Have you ever heard of Monzo?
I think I've heard of that.
It's like the new next generation of banking in the UK, basically, and in Europe, I think now. But they're going to America because the demand is so high for it. But PayZeal, I like this. I like the typography. It's nice and rounded in certain points. I really appreciate this, and I think you've gone ahead and done it yourself. Just got to remember, if it's rounded, I'm not too sure if this is just the type or if you've gone over it with the little corner tool. I would just like to encourage you. It's just to keep it so every sharp corner is rounded as well. So that would be my thing. Have you got any last words of advice, Brandon, for John?
Not quite. I think you said it all. Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's cool. Like, I just wanted to make sure. So, John, nice work. Get rid of that green. I don't like it. Brandon might.
No, I don't like the green.
Yeah, I would just say get rid of the green, or choose a different color, like a different lighter blue. So if you've got a gradient here, you could choose this color for one of the arrows and this color for another one. So you could do a hard gradient. So it's just like 2 separate colors corresponding to the normal company gradient. And then never be afraid to fiddle around with some different color choices. There's websites like Cooler that'll help you work out some of the better options of different colors that you can get. So now it's back to me and Brandon. How's it going, Brandon? You enjoy it?
Yeah, I think all the work's really good.
This has been a lot easier than my normal live stream, simply because I've had you and Naomi helping me with all the questions and things Naomi. Like that.
Woo.
Yeah, thanks to Naomi and stuff. But not only that, because you give me some learning advices on here. I think we should do this more often, where me and you go and troll the internet for some cool designs and maybe make some memes or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Well, guys, just a huge thank you to Brandon. But before you go, we want to remind you of that workshop that we announced. It's huge. We are doing a London workshop in August, and it's going to be basically starting in London, and we're going to be doing it across different countries as we go along and doing it. But if you would like the chance to get into this workshop, it's only like 20 people that can. Is it 20? Is it 20? 24 people can actually attend this workshop. You're going to have to click the link that Naomi's going to put in the description just now, because there's not many seats, and it's going to it's going to fill up when I put out my marketing video in the next couple of days for it, and when I start doing all the ads for it and things like that. If you don't know what the workshop is, it's basically getting you paid more, getting you known more, answering all of your questions. Brandon, this man here, he is a very talented strategy guy. I can't really say much more about you, Brandon, because like
it's harder.
If I have, well, no, because like if there's anything that I need help with, it's like, you know, the questions that you ask me are what helps me, if that makes sense. Or you get me to ask questions about things like, you know, the strategy behind design, and then like when I'm complaining with you about my, you know, clients or whatever, you know, and their choices.
I hear a lot. No, but I think the workshop's going to be cool. It should be a lot of good fun, and just our strengths between me and Will. Me and Will have different strengths, and together it's going to be really cool. We're going to have a lot of material and a lot of resources for people.
That's it. It's going to be insane. We're probably not doing it justice right now. We need to get something like properly written, but stay tuned for the video that's coming out on my channel. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe. If you want to support the channel, become a member. Also follow Brandon. You'll find him. Let us know where they can follow you, Brandon. He's saying no, but we're going to do it. No?
I have had I've been off of social media for quite some time. I deal with too many social media accounts, so I see enough of it.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you mean, actually. Like when you start doing it as a job, you never need it, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's Brandon, guys, and, you know, stay tuned for that workshop info. Thank you so much for watching this video.
Thanks for having me.
Streaming. Good to see you, Brandon.
See you later. Nice seeing you guys.
Like long lost brothers, me and you, Brandon.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, dude. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. See you soon.
Bye, everybody.